Northern Arizona, 8 up and 3 down, a team that loves to pass the football. They've got a freshman quarterback who is quite a national story. He ranks as the number 2 efficiency freshman quarterback in the country in all of 1A football.
This is a guy who was playing high school football last year for Glendale Ironwood. He led his team to the state title game, and now he's playing in the biggest stage of all, the opening round of the 1AA Playoffs.
So here we go, McNeese in blue and gold, about to kick off to Northern Arizona. It is a crisp autumn evening, and playoff football is underway. To the end zone, and Northern Arizona will not come out with it. Johnny Marshall decided he would take the touchback, and the Cowboys put their defense on the field at the 20-yard line. Now, offensively for this Northern Arizona team, a ball club which averages 31.7 points a game, Jason Murrieta is that young freshman quarterback, a 6'1", 215-pounder. He was not the starting quarterback at the beginning of the year. They had a couple of seniors who were slated to play. Murrieta came on strong. The 2 seniors quit, and suddenly this freshman has emerged as one of the best in the country, 22 touchdowns against 10 interceptions. He's a 58.8% passer, and they will throw it a lot out of a wide spread. And a reverse on the first play of the game. They're going to try to chunk it. Clarence Moore fires it downfield. It is batted away. Intended for Johnny Marshall and knocked away by the Cowboys.
And already Carlos Weathersby, they threw it right to his side of the field, and he was able to bat it down. Great defensive coverage by Weathersby.
So you get another look on the throw from Clarence Moore, the wide receiver, and on the first play of the game, Northern Arizona with some trickery goes up top on the reverse and the throw from the wideout.
This is playoff football, all right? Let's just throw everything out. Let's bring the tricks out, go all out on the playbook, and let's see what happens.
We'll set them offensively for you. The left tackle is Sean Funky, a 6'3", 289-pound senior. Murrieta will throw again, has a pocket, wings it downfield. He's got a receiver for a first down near the 37-yard line. A fine throw, and the catch out to about the 37-yard line. It is hauled in by Chris Nash. That's his 27th catch of the year.
That's what the Cowboys are going to have to weather. They're going to have to weather this storm because they're going to throw the ball all over this defense. Can guys like Keith Smith, can guys like Chris White respond when put under this kind of pressure? That's the question.
Matt Carey is the left guard, a 6'3", 290-pounder. Matt Rivio, a 6'1", 296-pound senior, will snap it. Matt Ryan is the right guard, 6'3", 305, and a senior. And Jake Sanders is the right tackle at 6'4". First ground play gets very, very little. The tailback, Roger Robinson, gets a lot of carries, but he's about the only ball carrier for Northern Arizona. He has toted it 234 times for 916 yards. He has scored 7 times on the ground. But out of the one-back set, he gets a lot of carries, but you don't look for too many other ball carriers to touch the ball.
That's right. It's a pretty interesting story. Robinson actually came over from Utah State this year, stepped right in, and he's already been a contributor.
Second down and long from the 38-yard line. Murrieta from shotgun formation. He's got 2 receivers at the top of your screen, 1 at the bottom. He just beats the play clock, and in fact did not beat the play clock. So the play clock expired, and that will cost 5 valuable yards on the first series.
Call that a freshman mistake, maybe. Call it atmosphere.
Play.
You know, this place isn't sold out tonight. It seats about 17,500. We're told it's about 15,500 sold. But still, it gets pretty noisy here when people have been tailgating all day long and they're ready to go for their McNeese football.
And there aren't too darn many empty seats here, and folks are still coming in, so it perhaps will be a bigger crowd than originally anticipated. 2 wideouts left, 1 right, 1 running back. Second down and 14. Opening drive of the first quarter. We are scoreless. Northern Arizona and the Cowboys from McNeese. Murrieta under center, slips it off on a draw. Robinson is wrapped up as he gets to the 36-yard line. That's about the original line of scrimmage. And it was Ryan Garrison, who is second on the club in tackles, making his 81st stop of the year. He's a good one, the senior from Franklin, Louisiana.
Ryan Garrison, a second-team defensive selection for the Southland Conference this season. Again, as you said, 80 tackles, 4 sacks on the season. And the Cowboys, their whole purpose tonight is to stop the run. They always try to stop the run first, no matter who they're playing.
If they can make Northern Arizona one-dimensional it certainly gives the defense an advantage. 3rd and 11. Northern Arizona has been a very good third down conversion team. 4-man rush. Murrieta gets it out to the right side. It's Tom Wynn who turns the corner. He is chopped down just short of the stake. Tom Wynn, the tight end, makes his 22nd catch, but the Cowboys were able to recover and knock him down just short of first down territory.
John Paul Jones almost was able to trip Murrieta up in the backfield, but then a nice catch by Wynn. This guy's so much talent at the tight end spot. He's just short of the first down. So now they bring on their all-star punter, Matt Gould, to the Lumberjacks, and this kid can boot it, Lynn.
Keith Smith was the one who made that turnover tackle there and prevented the first down. Gould has averaged 46.3 yards a kick. This is his 49th boot of the year. Now, the air is a little rarer out in northern Arizona, but when you average 46 plus, you've got a heck of a leg. The kick is away, and it bounces, and the Cowboys have to let it roll, and this thing is going all the way inside the 5, down near the 3-yard line.
Matt Gould delivering again. That's not unexpected. This is going to happen all night long because he's got such an amazing leg, and he's so good at pinning opposing teams inside that 20-yard line. The Cowboys are going to have to go a long way to get to the end zone.
Unofficially, that one 52 yards down inside the 5-yard line. The Cowboys operate from about the 3.5. Scott Pendarvis, the junior quarterback from Walker. It seems like he's been around forever. He's been good for a long time here. 6'3", 221-pounder. He has thrown 18 touchdowns, only 5 interceptions. Look for Vic King to get the ball early. And he does, and does not get back to the line of scrimmage.
Nice tackle there by the NAU defense. They know the Cowboys are going to run because they've got the conference's leading rusher, Vic King. So, again, you talk about making a team one-dimensional. If the Lumberjacks can take away the run from the Cowboys, well, then they've got the advantage.
A loss of a yard on the play. 2nd down, and better than 10 from inside the 5-yard line. Pendarvis tosses to King, makes a nice move, tries to step outside, and slithers up to the 7. He made about the most he could out of that play. The linebacker, Vince Henman, who is 4th on the team with 61 tackles, made the stop.
All season long, this is what Vic King does to you. He gets a few yards away from you every play in the first half. Then in the second half, he breaks free because he's a well-conditioned back, and that really wears on a defense as the game goes on.
The Cowboys have been very good in the first quarters this year. They have jumped out in front early, and all but one time they have maintained the lead. Pendarvis throws to the flat. The screen caught out there, but not much room. Let's see if Sands can make something happen. BJ spinning and slithering to the 11-yard line. He's going to be a little bit shy.
Emerging out of that pile, Ian Gunderman, the linebacker for NAU, one of several Lumberjacks on the stop. And BJ Sands is a game breaker for you. You want to wrap him up if you're the Lumberjacks defense because you saw how difficult it was to tackle him there, and that was just a little short route.
That is his 59th reception of the year. But the Cowboys, who started the drive inside their own 5, will have to punt. Low snap is fielded. The kick is out of there. And McNeese lets it roll to its own 48.5-yard line. So on the exchange of punts, Northern Arizona gets the better of it. And Northern Arizona starts on McNeese's side of midfield at the 48.
Lynn, I still feel like both teams are kind of feeling each other out. Now, let's see if we get into a little bit more of a rhythm, and we'll see what Murrieta can do now in his second series of play.
The freshman has thrown for 22 scores against 10 interceptions. Goes to the air and finds his man for a 1-yard pickup, a sliding grab made on the left side by Chris Nash, a 5'9", 170-pound senior. He had caught 26 balls coming in, averaging 13.7 per reception.
This is actually Nash's first game back. He missed the same Houston State game with the concussion. So he started 10 of 11, and now he's back, and the Lumberjacks are happy to have him.
Sam Houston was the only Southland Conference team that Northern Arizona was able to play this year, of course, other than the Cowboys, and this is the first time these teams have ever met. Robinson running left is crunched out of bounds after a short pickup.
Guess who? Keith Smith and Ryan Garrison again. Nice defensive coverage. It doesn't look like the Cowboys are fooled by any of the ground stuff that the Lumberjacks are doing so far.
There is only one other 1AA playoff game in progress. That's Northern Iowa in the Dome against Montana State. Montana already has been beaten in double overtime.
That's a big win.
Delaware, Colgate, Florida International, Wofford, Western Illinois, and Western Kentucky already have wins today. 3rd and long, 4 down linemen. Marietta looking, whips it to the outside. It's incomplete. Josh Hamlin was the intended receiver on the far sideline. He would not have been able to get the first down in front of the Cowboys bench, even if that reception had been made.
More pressure by the Cowboys defense. The Blue Shirts just keep coming at you. And already, the Lumberjacks go 3 and out.
So 3 possessions between the two teams, and the third punt coming. Mark Gould, who hit one better than 50 yards inside the 5-yard line the last time with the aid of a good roll, will kick it to B.J. Sams. Sams has to let this one roll. It turns right and goes out of bounds near the 12-yard line.
The Cowboys are going to get some yards, which is good if you're a Cowboy fan, because that last punt from Gould pinned them so far deep they couldn't do anything but just punt it right back to the Lumberjacks.
So with 9 minutes remaining in the first quarter, the Cowboys get it for the second time. We are scoreless. McNeese, which has not lost a Southland Conference game in basically 3 seasons, in the playoffs again. 1 game short of a national crown a year ago against Western Kentucky. Western Kentucky does have a win already. Let's take a timeout here. We have played 6 minutes. We are scoreless. We'll be back with the Cowboys and the football. Welcome back, everyone. We are scoreless. McNeese with the ball for the second time. A little bit better starting position at its own 12-yard line. Scott Pendarvis under center. He's got King behind him. Pendarvis to the air on first down, throws it out, caught for a first down, and some more. Up at the 27-yard line, the reception made by Marcus Turner. He's the guy you talked about, stepping in for Britt Broadhead, and an early catch.
So far, so good. He, last week, as I said, had a career day. 163 yards on 4 catches, if you can imagine. What a day for Turner. And really, in his coming out party, this is his senior year.
Shannon Butler made the stop for Northern Illinois. First down Cowboys, their first of the game. The fullback, Luke Lawton, plunges ahead over the 31, maybe to the 32-yard line. The big fellow with 248 pounds on that 6-foot frame, the senior from Lafayette. And the crowd here loves to go Luke.
The, as you said, 248-pound senior out of Lafayette actually gained weight in the offseason and focused more on his blocking. He was more about stats his junior year. This season, he's really focused on his blocking, and I think that's going to help him in the long term.
Lawton averaging 3.5 yards per carry this year, down some from a year ago. Cowboys on the ground again on second down and long. Vic King is sliced off his feet near the line of scrimmage. He was knocked down by Randy Kirschman, a 6'3", 270-pound freshman. This team, Northern Arizona, has allowed 23 points a game, 110 yards a game on the ground for a 3.6-yard average, and 253 through the air, so the secondary has been porous, but they do love to throw the ball in the big sky. Pendarvis gets rid of it quickly, almost intercepted. He threw it to the hash mark on the right side, and that was fortunate for the Cowboys that it was not picked off.
Nearly picked by Shannon Butler. He came into the game with 2 interceptions. He almost got his 3rd there. Both of his interceptions, incidentally, make it 2 interceptions on the season, 27 tackles.
Well, they've had a whole lot of picks this year. 22 interceptions out of this Northern Arizona team. So the Cowboys will punt for the second time. Snap is on the money. And the kick is away by Jason Cook. It is fielded at the 26-yard line. And going down at about the 31 or the 32 is the Northern Arizona returner.
Johnny Marshall down there. Nice play by the Cowboys special teams, although it looked like Marshall was able to slip through about 3 or 4 tackles before the folks were able to bring him down.
He's pretty shifty, isn't he?
Very shifty. Reminds me a lot of B.J. Sams.
So it's the third possession already in the first quarter for Northern Arizona. The Lumberjacks have been chopped down so far by this Cowboy defense and vice versa. Ryan Williams gets his first carry, spinning in the backfield, and the Cowboys yank his feet out from under him after a short gain. It appeared to be Tyree Broden on the hit.
Tyree Broden, Cedric Lars coming in there to combine on the tackle. Cedric Lars is kind of a shifty character. If we got a moment, he's got 80 tackles on the season, tied with Garrison, and somehow from the strong safety spot always finds his way into the pile.
2nd down and 8. No score with 6:53 remaining in the first period. Cowboys bring an extra defender. Pass is high off the fingertips of Clarence Moore, and it falls incomplete, bringing up 3rd down and long for the Lumberjacks.
And that ball was thrown in the direction of Keith Smith. Teams just don't challenge this guy. He's one of the top 10 secondary prospects in the entire country. Expect him to go in the 3rd or 4th round of the NFL draft, this according to Mel Kiper Jr., the ESPN draft analyst.
And remember, at Leesville a few seasons ago, Keith Smith was a highly touted offensive player.
He's made the transition to defense quite nicely, I would say.
Matt Rivio will snap it to Jason Murrieta. 3rd down and long. Here comes the blitz from the right side. Murrieta is flushed to his right. He's hit. Skips away, sheds a tackler. He's got enough for a 1st down. He's still on his feet at the 45, and he slides down at the 46-yard line. Jason Murrieta with a little bit of escapability.
Little bit of mobility there for Murrieta. Watch this. He makes Ryan Garrison miss, and then he decides to just keep the ball. Phil Smith slips, and then John Paul Jones in pursuit can't catch up with him either, nor can Ryan Garrison. Nobody can get this guy. So he can pass and he can run, man.
1st down for Northern Arizona at its own 46-yard line. We are scoreless with 6:23 remaining in the first quarter. And we are so glad you're with us on KPLC TV in Lake Charles. 3 wide receivers out to the left side. Robinson picking his way. Finds a little bit of yardage. He is knocked down short of midfield.
Lynn, talk a little history here with me. In the 10 years the Cowboys have made the playoffs since 1992, this is their 6th Big Sky opponent in the opening round of the playoffs. I thought that was pretty interesting. We were talking about this all week, that the Big Sky as a conference is really no foreign opponent to the Cowboys. They seem to draw a Big Sky team every year.
Well, and 2 or 3 years ago, you'll remember that geographically, the Southland and the Big Sky are matched in the 1st round. I don't think it's a good idea, but that's the way it is. Murrieta rolling right. Throws it short. It's juggled and then caught. And the tight end grabbed it after the bobble. That is Hamlin, Josh Hamlin. That's only his 10th catch of the year. He's averaging 9.3. But they will go to the tight ends. The other one, Wynn, has 21 catches. So the tight ends for Northern Arizona grab about 3 balls a game on average.
3 balls a game. Hamlin, the man who just caught that pass, has actually had 4 catches in 4 different games. So they'll really spread the wealth to their receivers.
5:21 to go. Northern Arizona operating at the McNeese 44-yard line. We're in the first period. Clarence Moore splits out wide right. Johnny Marshall, who is one of 2 1,000-yard receivers for the Lumberjacks, is split to the bottom of your screen, and Northern Arizona takes a timeout. So we will step aside as well. 5:09 to go. First quarter. Northern Arizona is on the McNeese side of midfield. We are scoreless. What a beautiful sight hanging over Cowboy Stadium, the half moon. We are scoreless so far as we come to the 5:09 mark in the first quarter. You're watching Cowboy football on 7 at your service, KPLC, and we are delighted to be in your living rooms tonight. Murrieta with play action, looking deep. 2 men running down the field to the end zone. It is overthrown, intended for Johnny Marshall. And now we've got a penalty marker down.
Lynn, I don't know that that was a catchable ball, but we'll see what the call is.
These officials are from the Gateway Conference. That's going to be holding defensively.
Penalty, automatic first down.
It is an automatic first down And I'll tell you, you had to have a pretty good pair of eyes to spot that one. That looked like a little tic-tac contact. I didn't see any hold, but the officials did.
At least on that replay, that was Lawrence Darby on the coverage. I didn't see any grabbing there at the end of the play where the flag came in. So we just have to go with it. Cowboys are going to have to weather the storm, as we said. Here's another look at it. Marietta going deep for Marshall, who he told you is one of really two coveted receivers for this NAU crew. And they flag Darby for the hold.
1st and 10. The Lumberjacks have their deepest penetration from the 34-yard line. Robinson running left. Flag goes down. Robinson is belted at the line of scrimmage. This penalty is going to go against the home team, or the offensive team.
Brian Garrison in on the stop again. Garrison, a second-team defensive selection this season.
Now we've got another marker thrown. The referee has flipped the flag a couple of times. Holding, and a quite obvious one, was called early, and then a personal foul against the Cowboys, and that's not a smart play by McNeese.
This is what's going to drive head coach Tommy Tate for the Cowboys nuts. He's so good about disciplining his players and keeping them out of that, that chippy situation, but the Cowboys found themselves in a chippy situation at Nicholls State. Both teams really not liking each other. Actually, both teams cleared the sideline and met at midfield for a time. So maybe some of that anger boiling over into the first round of the playoffs.
We have two fouls on the play. With holding on the offense, a 10-yard penalty which will be enforced from the previous spot, and a dead ball, personal defense, 15 yards, automatic, first down.
And quite frankly, that dead ball personal foul is a bonehead play on the Cowboys. That's putting yourself ahead of the team.
And that's after the play is over, Lynn. I mean, they get called for holding, and instead of marching 15 yards back in the other direction, they get an automatic first down, and they're now deeper into Cowboy territory on the 29.
So it's +5 if you're counting after the two penalties and the first down at the 29-yard line.
They've moved more to the near side now. Marshall's on the far side.
3 wide receivers. Robinson is standing at Murrietta's right. Robinson is hit, spins away, takes on 2 or 3 Cowboys, and works his way to the 25. He's a 5'10", 187-pound junior, built low to the ground and pretty powerful.
Nice run there by Robinson. He ran right into Cowboys linebacker Tyree Broden and then spun away and was able to get a few additional yards. Broden just walked away shaking his head.
And we talked about the 2 wide receivers, both of whom have over 1,000 yards, which may be the first time in 1AA history when one team has 2 1,000-yard receivers. Clarence Moore and Johnny Marshall, both better than 1,000 yards receiving this year. 2nd down and long. Murrieta throws it over the middle. He's got a receiver wide open. It's Chris Nash, and Chris Nash is not knocked down until he gets to the 13-yard line.
Nice catch there by Nash. Little slant pattern inside, shed the defense, make the grab, and they get the first down. They're rolling now. They came into this series with only 1 first down. They're now up to 4, are the Lumberjacks.
Just over 4 minutes remain in the first quarter. Northern Arizona, with its deepest penetration, as a first down at the McNeese 13-yard line. Murrieta, who was playing high school football a year ago, is under center. Rivio snaps it. They go to Robinson. He's tripped up after diving ahead for a yard or 2. Good penetration defensively by McNeese on the right side of the line.
That's Mike Swansea on the tackle, though he comes up a little lame. Number 97 for the Cowboys.
Swansea, the junior from Freeport, Texas, and he limps out of the game right now.
Came into the game with 30 tackles. He's a little shaken up. He'll go off for some treatment.
A pickup of only 1. 2nd down and 9 from the 12-yard line. 3 minutes and 15 seconds are left in a scoreless first quarter. 3 wide receivers at the bottom of your screen. Murrieta looking, throwing quickly. He's got a receiver, but not any place to run. Chris Nash caught it and then was drilled immediately.
Didn't I tell you Cedric Lars was a shifty character? There he goes. He's the strong safety, and he goes out and meets Nash head on. No gain.
Lars, a 5'10", 180-pounder, and that is a textbook tackle. Just inside the 10-yard line. 3rd and long.
Cowboys came into this one number 1 in the conference in red zone defense. Then let's see if they can hold.
The line to make is the 3-yard line. Murrieta looking, has room to run if he wants to take it. Now he whips it to the end zone, caught for a touchdown. At the back side of the end zone, it's Chris Nash, who did a nice job of working loose and finding an open space as Murrieta was flushed out of the pocket.
Welcome back, Chris Nash, in a big way. Murrieta had all kinds of time. He's actually, in the Big Sky Conference, been sacked the fewest times, and that's really amazing when you consider how much he passes the football. And so Northern Arizona is already on the scoreboard.
Weathersby was in coverage. It was good coverage initially, but he could not stay with Chris Nash. That's Nash's 3rd touchdown of the year. And now Paul Ernster, who is 40 out of 42 in extra points, will kick it. It is good. And so Northern Arizona jumps out to an early lead with 2:19 remaining in the first quarter on a touchdown pass from Jason Murrieta to Chris Nash. We'll step aside and we'll be right back. The Cowboys will have the ball. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that way we can talk. That's not going to happen on this end. Absolutely. Keeps us loose, Alan. This ain't our first rodeo, Alan.
Hey, why don't we talk about when we come back from break? The Cowboys have been here before. They played from behind in several games last season. Not their opener against Montana State, but Montana, they had to come back from 17-0 down in the 3rd. Against Villanova, same thing. So they call them the Cardiac Cowboys for a reason. This is one.
What was that? Northern Arizona with a 7-0 lead on Jason Murrieta's 23rd touchdown pass of the year. The freshman hooked up with his senior wide receiver, Chris Nash, for the 3rd time this season.
And that's just good protection from the NAU offensive line. They come in, really what Coach Jerome Sowers told me yesterday was that Murrieta's been as successful as he has been because of the seniors that he's put around him. Of the 14 seniors the Lumberjacks have on this team, 8 play on the offense.
B.J. Sams and I believe Henry Smith are back to receive the kickoff. 2:19 left in the first quarter. McNeese, which trailed a couple of times in the playoffs last year but had fine comebacks, finds itself behind. This ball is bouncing loose, finally picked up, and giving ground is the McNeese receiver all the way back to the 15-yard line, looking for a wall, and now may have one. To the 25, out to the 30, and chugging up to about the 41 or 42-yard line with flags flying is Henry Smith.
That'll be a late hit there. Lynn, what a run by Henry Smith. Look at this replay. He goes all the way to one side of the field. First of all, he may not have even received the ball. He picks it up after the pooch and then comes all the way back around, follows the wall of blockers before he's finally pushed out of bounds. What a great return by Henry Smith.
And then 15 more on a foolish hit out of bounds by the Lumberjacks.
First time the Cowboys have been across midfield.
Personal foul, late hit out of bounds on the kicking team. 15 yards from the end of the run, first down.
So the Cowboys start this drive at the Lumberjack 43-yard line.
If you're the Lumberjacks, you just scored on the #1 team in the nation. And now, just like that, you may have just lost the momentum because of a foolish play.
Scott Pendarvis will accept the snap from Michael Laborde, a 6'3", 311-pound junior from Sulphur. Play action. Pendarvis looking, Firing deep. It is off the hands of the receiver at the 25-yard line. B.J. Sams had that one on the fingernails and could not clasp his hands together on this crisp night.
Just out of reach for B.J. Sams. You know, Sams has a little something to prove. The last playoff game he played in Chattanooga, Tennessee, was not his best. He admitted it after the game. Here's his chance for redemption, and he's got to do it tonight by making catches like that.
That was a good throw by Pendarvis.
The only place it could have been thrown, to be honest with you.
2nd and 10 from the 43-yard line. Sams came in with 40, making 58 catches. He's already had one tonight. Pendarvis looking, throwing to the outside, and that one is too tall. Off the fingertips of the tight end, Matt Gore, a 6'3" senior from Katy, Texas.
Pendarvis, when he gets it, he has a tendency to throw wild, and it typically happens. His release point is just a little bit off, and in that case, ball just sails a little bit on Gore. He can't make the reception. Now we're looking at 3rd and long for the Cowboys.
Pendarvis looks a little bit adrenalized right now. He may just need to take a deep breath and settle in and get his feet back under him and get comfortable. He's got a very strong arm, and he reads the ball well, reads the field well.
And he's been here before.
3rd and 10 from the 43-yard line. Pendarvis looking, sends both halfbacks out, fires it downfield, caught for a first down. The ball is loose, and now they say it's an incomplete pass.
Huey Gardner there had it and dropped it.
And should have caught it.
Shannon Butler on the coverage for the Lumberjacks. Take another look. Pendarvis, all the time in the world, and a wide-open Huey Gardner. Nice play by Shannon Butler.
So that's 2 balls into receivers' hands in this series that should have been caught for first downs.
And that's really hurting the Cowboys so far. The first time they get across midfield and they can't capitalize, they don't even get 1 first down, Lynn.
Johnny Marshall is back to receive the punt from Jason Cook. He has hit 43 this year, averaging 38.3. Cook will try to hang this one high, but he gets way too much of it. This one will make the end zone and then some on the fly.
Not what you want to do if you're the Cowboys.
Not at all. Only 23 yards net. Touchback to the 20. And Cook just hit the heck out of that one. Hot coffee has arrived, and we are grateful for it.
It is chilly out here, Lynn. I'm shivering. We've got our Gore-Tex gloves, and we're ready to go. This is football weather.
It absolutely is. And by the way, thank you so much to all of the folks here at McNeese who have made our broadcast preparations on short notice and an empty stomach so much easier to accomplish. It's been wonderful working with Sports Information Director Louis Bonnet and many others. Murrieta up top. It is caught. And the big fellow goes down at about the 41-yard line.
Johnny Marshall.
Well, he is so good. That's his 72nd catch of the year.
He already broke NAU's single-season receptions record with 71 during the regular year. Now, catch number 72, a big gainer, and he beats Lawrence Darby to do it.
Lawrence Darby actually was in pretty good position. The ball was thrown outside. Darby turned the other way and then had his back to the line of scrimmage. And Johnny Marshall hauls it in. Northern Arizona on the march again with a 7-0 lead. First down at the Cowboy 41-yard line. Murrieta is changing the play. He's got 4 seconds to snap it. Down to 2. And this one will not count. Sean Funky, the left tackle, came up early. He's the senior. Well, if you're named Matt, you've got a good chance of playing up front for Northern Arizona. They've got Matt Carey at left guard, Matt Rivio, the center, and Matt Ryan, the right guard.
Good place to be if you're named Matt.
Absolutely.
Yes.
But it was Sean Funky who came up early that time. He's a senior. So is Carey. So is Rivio. So is Ryan. And Sanders is the only non-freshman among the interior 5. He's non-senior. He is a freshman at 6'4", 290, the right tackle.
So we got 3 Matts in the middle, but our pattern doesn't really hold true. We've got a Sean and then a Jake on the end.
Yeah.
So I thought you may have had something there.
Well, the Matts are in the middle. Cowboys would like to walk on them up front, but we'll see what happens. 7-0. Northern Arizona leads. Chris Nash has a touchdown reception from Jason Murrieta. Murrieta will throw. Looking, chunking it deep. Incomplete and almost intercepted at the goal line. It was intended for Clarence Moore, and there was excellent coverage.
Keith Smith on the coverage again. Clarence Moore is a huge target, 6'5", 200 pounds, and he comes into this game with at least one catch in 35 straight games, so you will be hearing his name again. But once again, Keith Smith, outstanding coverage. They've played that Smith-Moore matchup all night long, and then they put Darby on the shorter Johnny Marshall.
Smith is quite an athlete, a 6-foot, 191-pounder, 4 interceptions, and he was in perfect coverage that time. Second down and 15. Marietta will throw it again. He's pressured. Cowboys have not been able to get to him very much. This is a loose football. It is still loose. It is still loose, and I think the Lumberjacks on the second or third try may have come up with it. The officials are burrowing under the pile, and it'll be Northern Arizona's best football, I believe.
Rod Royal, Cowboys linebacker Rod Royal had it and then lost it. It's amazing to me, and we can say this because we're up here, that guys just don't cover that football. It's weird how the pigskin rolls around out there, and in that case, Royal just couldn't get on top of it.
And I believe it was Jason Marietta, that quarterback, who managed to get a couple of deflections and cover it up.
It's amazing how far away you can be from the play and still get the ball back, as Marietta was in this case. Look at the replay. Marietta flushed out. Nice pressure by the Cowboys defense to get a little penetration, and then he throws late. There's Rod Royal going to his knees, crawling for the football, and he had it, and then he lost it right there. And as you said, Marietta snuck around back and tried to get in there too.
Meanwhile, there's an injured Cowboy at midfield.
It is Mike Swansea again, who came out of the game earlier. Remember, he looked shaken up the last series, and now is at midfield and being tended to.
It looks like a leg injury, and Swanson needs a lot of help getting to the sideline. The junior from Freeport, or Swansea, the junior from Freeport, Texas, 6'1", 277-pounder. Brian Thompson normally plays behind him. We'll see if Thompson comes into the ball game. Tim Kennebrew is in the contest. John Paul Jones up front.
Looks like the
looks like Buck Harris,
the
freshman
man
from Karen Crow.
Number 50 will be taking his place.
Meanwhile, it's third down and a whole lot of yardage in front of Northern Arizona. The line to make is a McNeese 32-yard line, but we'll wait until the second period to find out what happens on third and a mile to go. After one period, Northern Arizona leads top-rated McNeese 7-0. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Woo. Oh, yes. We got up in that little kid who was talking in our microphone. Turns out he's a pretty good little servant.
You ought to see his sister. No, I meant you don't want to let him go.
Do you need anything?
Welcome back, everyone. Northern Arizona leading 7-0 as we move to the second quarter. Third down with the line to make the Cowboy 31. Northern Arizona operates from its own 43. Marietta with a strong arm retreats. No pressure. He's flushed. He dumps it ahead. It's caught at midfield. The receiver looking for running room and finding a little bit. And he's popped hard at about the 40-yard line. That's back to about the original line of scrimmage. It was Roger Robinson coming out of the backfield to take the little desperation Utah pass.
What an amazing play by Murrieta. This guy's a true freshman. Somehow he finds his running back, Roger Robinson, who gets a few, but really an act of desperation because the Lumberjacks will have to punt. Great pass, though.
Robinson was knocked out of bounds by Fairchild. And Mark Gould will hit it. B.J. Sams is standing at his 10. Gould has had one blocked this year, no pressure. And Sams will probably let this one bounce. It hits at the 5. Northern Arizona kills it at the 2-yard line.
What a stop. What a stop. Eric Iverson put an arm up, and the ball just stopped. Wow. Look at that. He just batted it back, and now the Cowboys are once again on their 2 when it looked like the ball was going to spin into the back of the end zone for a touchback. What a play by Iverson.
And you can't fault Sams in letting that one sail over his head. He made the proper decision. Just a great play by the Northern Arizona punt coverage team.
Cowboys' final home game of the season was against Northwestern State, and in that game, B.J. Sams got hit and hit again. His lesson learned that night was to fair catch the ball and to not field punts that he shouldn't be fielding. In that case, that was one he was wise to let go.
Vic King looking for yardage, finds a tiny crack and moves up to about the 6, maybe the 7-yard line. This is the second series in which the Cowboys have started inside their own 5-yard line.
It's really amazing, Lynn, to watch the progression of this Cowboy team this season. It's either been feast or famine for the Cowboys on offense. They scored 63 points last week in their win over Nicholls State. They scored 13 the week before against Northwestern. Go figure.
A pretty good run on first down. Here is the Sams speed handoff, but he cannot turn the corner. He's knocked down near the line of scrimmage. It'll bring up third at about 5.5.
Speaking of trends, Lane, another thing the Cowboys have done all season is actually rotated quarterbacks. They've gone from Pendarvis to Corcoran for a series, usually sometime in the second quarter, late first quarter, second quarter, depending on the score, and then they'll go back to Pendarvis. So far, we haven't seen that, as now Mike Swansea being taken off the field of play, the Cowboy who left earlier with an injury.
Michael Laborde snaps it. Pendarvis throws it. It is rerouted at the line of scrimmage, and it falls incomplete. And it's been the Lumberjacks who have applied more pressure to Pendarvis than the Cowboys have been able to squeeze Murrieta.
Pretty amazing stuff there from the
Doug Harding, the defensive end, knocked that one down. So the Lumberjacks figure to get the ball in good position again. Johnny Marshall back to receive the punt from Jason Cook. He hits a pretty good one. Marshall from the 39. Marshall is spilled at the 23-yard line, and there comes a flag.
I'll be curious to see what this one is. This is a great return by Johnny Marshall. Pretty good punt by Cook. Could have been a little deeper, but then Marshall has all this daylight in front of him before he's wrapped up.
A late hit right there. Marshall was down, and they're going to get the Cowboys for that late hit.
Ball. Personal foul, late hit. Half the distance to the goal, first down.
It was Terry Griffin, with Marshall having been knocked in the air and then hit the turf, and he gets up slowly, number 31, and then Griffin drove his shoulder pad into him.
Well, this is another one of those undisciplined penalties, and it's going to cost the Cowboys big time. It seems to me, of the two teams we're watching, that NAU is the more disciplined of the two. Surprising.
NAU is in the red zone and 11 yards away from its second score. Let's step aside early in the second period. Lumberjacks 7, McNeese nothing. Comfortable? Everything okay? Yeah, you're doing great. Yeah, they are. They're in one. Yeah. Our red coat is out there.
Any suggestions or anything?
Oh, no, you're doing great.
Well, thank you.
Great. Really good.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
It's Demarest, isn't it?
Yes,
Yeah.
Jess Demarest.
At least you got one. Well, you can use it to start a fire in the truck. There's probably some juice in there somewhere, isn't there? We're going to make it. Redcoat's still out there. Oh, okay, good, good.
Hello, red shirts.
Early in the second quarter, Northern Arizona is at the 11-yard line. First down and 10 yards to go. Jason Murrieta barking signals. He'll accept the snap at the 15. Looking left, pumping, throwing over the middle, caught for a touchdown. He looked off and then found the tight end for the score.
And on the reception, that's Raymond Green, junior wide receiver out of Flagstaff, Arizona. Number 88 coming in with a grab.
And he was lined up tight to the formation. Everybody sort of got lost in the shuffle. And a nice look off by Murrieta. And Northern Arizona has come east and is leading the number 1 seed.
Let's talk a little discipline here, Lynn. The Cowboys have been in the playoffs before. They know where they've been. The Lumberjacks are making only their 3rd appearance and still looking for their first playoff win yet. They're up 14-0 now.
And the kick is good by Paul Ernster. He's 42 out of 44 this year. So it's Northern Arizona with 12:58 remaining in the first half with a 14-0 lead.
Pretty surprising score here, Lynn. I expected the Cowboys to come out a little more fired up on offense. So far, it looks like they're the more sluggish of the two teams, and NAU doing a great job.
And here's a stat that points that out, Dan. 8 first downs for Northern Arizona, 1 for the Cowboys.
Pretty amazing. You look at the time of possession, NAU 11 minutes to only 3 for McNeese. NAU came in leading, actually, the Big Sky Conference in time of possession in almost 33 minutes a game.
Murrieta is now 9 for 13 with 2 touchdowns. The Cowboys have been unable to apply consistent pressure against him. And on the other side, McNeese only 2 out of 6 through the air as Scott Pendarvis still waits to find the bullseye.
And what an amazing start for Jason Murrieta. As you said, coming out of high school last year, you can tell he's something special because he's the Big Sky Conference Offensive Player of the Year. Not playing like a true freshman at all.
His first start this year was against Arizona State. He went 10 for 15 in that game. And the 2 senior quarterbacks who had started the year ahead of him pulled up stakes, turned in their uniforms, and said, okay, freshman, it's all yours.
They were gone by the end of the month.
He said, thank you very much. Just under 13 minutes remain in the first half, and this big crowd has yet to get energized. It has been stunned, perhaps by the cool weather, and certainly by 2 touchdown passes.
Certainly has been surprising, but if you're a McNeese fan, you've come to expect this from your Cowboys. Just reference last season's playoff run. The Cardiac Cowboys are back.
Out to about the 20. Smith with a 20-yard return. And the Cowboys need to get something going here offensively.
Lynn, I know it's a little early to be talking wins and losses here, but the Cowboys have actually won 9 games in a row in 13 straight games at home. So that's what's at stake here. They haven't lost at home since they lost to Maine in the 1AA playoffs in 2001.
It is Corcoran at quarterback now, and his first throw of the night is too tall, but a flag goes down. Marcus Turner had run a curl pattern at about the 35-yard line. A flag was thrown by the back judge.
Marcus Turner tried to jump, and Maurice Taylor kept him from doing so. Maurice Taylor, the 5'11", 179 senior cornerback. Take a look at the replay. Although it's Taylor who goes down, it was Taylor who was grabbing Turner. Taylor to Turner.
Pass interference on the defense. Spot foul, automatic first down.
So Ryan Corcoran, 34 out of 60 this year through the air with 4 touchdowns and 3 interceptions and a 56.7% completion ratio, is now the quarterback for McNeese.
This is very standard procedure. The Cowboys have done this before.
Vic King slices through a tiny crack and perhaps gets to the 36.
Cowboys starting to get a little fired up out there. Play continuing even after the whistle blows. It's time for the Cowboys to get angry, as they say. Get that adrenaline pumping and use it to your advantage, because right now they're in a tremendous hole.
Well, at the top of the show, we both agreed that McNeese needed to come out and hit somebody in the mouth. It's been the other thing that has happened today. Northern Arizona has had its axe out. Vic King cannot get out of the backfield. This Northern Arizona team, not known for defensive prowess, but nonetheless, it has taken the attack to the Cowboys in the first 20 minutes.
This is really shocking. Vince Henman on the stop here. The linebacker for the Lumberjacks gets King in the backfield. And the Cowboys are looking at a 3rd and long again. And Lynn, we haven't seen too much progression from the Cowboys into Lumberjack territory.
Gardner splits to the left side. Sams is in a slot there. Looks like the near side receiver, Turner, is lined up over the ball. They don't throw a flag. Pass wobbles, and a great leaping catch made by B.J. Sams. B.J. Sams went to the top of the ladder and then leaped off and made the catch on a wobbling pass from Ryan Corcoran.
Wow, look at how high up Sams gets to make that catch. That is just amazing. And we told you, you know, the Cowboys need a hero. Who are they going to hang their hat on? Is it going to be B.J. St? Is it going to be Vic King? Is it going to be Scott Pendarvis? Luke Lawton? Sams is starting to pick it up.
First down at the 48-yard line. Lawton in motion to the left side. Corcoran looking, pumps, now lobs it deep. And Lawton was the intended receiver. There was some bumping at about the 40-yard line. That's why the crowd is on its feet, but there is no flag.
And Luke Lawton pleading his case to the line judge there, saying, look, I can't get to the ball if I'm being held. And you can hear the crowd. They feel that perhaps Lawton was held up a little bit.
That was an out and up. And there was contact preventing Lawton from getting up.
Let's take a minute to talk about the differences between the two quarterbacks the Cowboys have played. Scott Pendarvis versus Ryan Corcoran. Ryan Corcoran is the pure passer of the two. He's going to air it out and throw that ball and do whatever he can in the pocket. That's the biggest difference between Corcoran and Pendarvis.
2nd and 10. Corcoran rolling left. Throws it. And it's the tight end, Matt Gore, lumbering for yardage. It's another McNeese first down near the 33-yard line.
That's a big play for the Cowboys. Now they're starting to move the chains. 3 first downs for the Cowboys, 8 for NAU. We told you at the end of the first quarter how skewed it was. Well, now get that chain gang going, move the chains down the field.
Gore, a 6'3", 225-pound senior from Katy, Texas.
You notice since Corcoran's been in, it's been pass, 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 because that's his specialty.
He'll throw again. Sams has it. Gets a block, but cannot get out of the grasp of Shannon Butler. A nice open field tackle by Butler on one of the shiftiest players in 1AA football.
B.J. Sams is a gamer. He was picked as the Southland Conference Player of the Year, and with good reason. And he broke the Cowboys school record for all-purpose yards at more than 1,800. This guy does it punt returning, kick returning, receiving, and even rushing.
10 minutes and 17 seconds remain in the second quarter. 3 receivers left. Vic King running that way. Can't get much. This Lumberjack team has been impressive defensively at the line of scrimmage.
It's been really good, Lynn, to be frank with you. I mean, they've got good penetration on the quarterback, and Vic King hasn't been able to run the ball at all. 6 carries make it 7 for 11 yards now, and no touchdowns. Vic King averaging well over 100 yards rushing per game.
We have had only 33 rushing yards between the two teams in this game. 3rd down and a couple of strides face the Cowboys. A pitch to King. Gets a block. To the 10, to the 9, to the 8. 1st and goal, McNeese.
That's the best run King has had all day. If you give him blockers, he'll make the rest happen. He's very good with moving his upper body and then adjusting to the way the field is opening up in front of him.
And a nice block on the left side by Gore. In fact, he got in front of a couple of Lumberjacks. That was a superb play call with the little toss sweep counter to the left side.
Very good play call and a great block, as you said, by Gore to make that happen.
First and goal, McNeese. Let's call it the 9. King cut down at the 10. He did not get back to the line of scrimmage. Doug Harding, among others, sifted in for the Lumberjacks. Also Cedric Pitts, that defensive tackle. He takes up a good bit of your screen, number 99, a 6'1", 280-pound senior.
He just comes out of there like, look at me. How could you miss? How could you miss number 99?
That's a double meat whopper in there. 14-0 Northern Arizona on a couple of touchdown passes from the freshman quarterback.
Cowboys are bringing Marcus Singleton in on the near side. Sam's now the man in motion.
2 tight ends. Corcoran throws outside. It is incomplete. Well, there was no weak side blocking, and there was pressure immediately on Corcoran. Play action did not influence the right side defensively. Corcoran with very little time to find a target.
He was having to throw through those big tree limbs right away. John Butze, his intended receiver, really had no chance to even finish his route because Corcoran had to let it go.
3rd and goal from the 10-yard line. 8 minutes and 32 seconds are left in the second quarter. Ryan Corcoran, the senior from Lake Charles, trying to get the Cowboys in the end zone for the first time. And the pass is incomplete, thrown a little bit behind Marcus Turner.
Maurice Taylor on the pass breakup there. It looked like he just got a paw in there, and take a look at the replay. Pretty good ball by Corcoran, maybe a little bit behind his receiver Turner. But Taylor gets it done. The Cowboys are going to have to go for the field goal.
Had that ball been in front of Marcus Turner, had he thrown it where Turner could stretch away from his body, it probably would have been a touchdown. Well, here is John Marino, one of the country's best. The left footer knocks it up, and it is good. He is now 16 for 21 in the field goal department. He hits a short one, and the Cowboys get a change on the scoreboard. Now trailing 14-3 as McNeese, for the first time, gets on the scoreboard. We'll step aside and be right back. You ever eat there, Cajun Charlie's? I've eaten there a couple.
Yes.
It's real good.
It is good. They got a nice selection of food there.
They do.
I've never had a bad meal there.
I've only eaten there a couple of times,
Yeah.
but like duck hunting coming back, you know,
Yeah.
it's good. Let's get a little T&A down there, Alan. I know it's cold, but you can find something. I noticed that.
Yeah, we need that.
Our fresh score, Northern Arizona 14, McNeese, after the short field goal by Marino, trails by 11. And we are so glad to be in your living rooms on 7 at your service, KPLC Lake Charles. Along with Dan Boubany, I'm Lynn Rollins, as we bring you 1AA playoff action in the first round.
The number 1 seed in a little bit of trouble here, Lynn. Down 11 with still 8 minutes and change left in the second quarter as Marino gets ready to kick off.
Points there were very important. Marino hits the sidewinder. And
here comes Johnny Marshall again.
he's tough to the 20. Brings
He's got
that
blocking
side.
and speed.
Marino is there to make sure he can't go any farther at about midfield.
Nice return.
That's exactly what you didn't want to happen if you're a Cowboy after you hopefully get energized following the field goal.
This is pretty interesting, Lynn. Actually, on the depth chart, Johnny Marshall is listed as the #1 punt returner, not necessarily the kickoff returner. That duty belongs to Alex Watson, but in this case, we've seen nothing but kicks to Johnny Marshall so far. Cimarron Wade has also been in the backfield for NEU as well.
First down at the 44-yard line. 8:14 to play, second quarter. Northern Arizona leads 14-3. Marietta will throw it. He slings it. It is caught for a first down at the 42-yard line by Clarence Moore, that 6'5", 200-pound senior. He's one of two 1,000-yard receivers on this team.
There's Clarence Moore. You knew we were going to call his name before long because of how big of a target he is. As you say, 6'5". And that, you love to throw to a 6'5" receiver.
Keith Smith was in coverage, but he was playing behind the receiver after Clarence Moore broke it off and just sat down in front of Keith Smith. This Marietta is relentless. M-U-R-R-I-E-T-T-A. Jason Marietta. 1 year removed from high school football. Robinson finding a hole. He's knocked down at the 35-yard line. Stopping him there was Fairchild, the strong safety out of St. Gabriel.
Pickup of about 6 yards for Robinson. Using his speed to kind of get through the initial wave of tacklers. Been able to make it 7 now as we look at a 2nd and 3.
He'll run it on average about 20 times a game. 916 yards on 233 tries. 7 touchdowns rushing, 4.1 average. And if he doesn't run it, nobody else will.
That's right.
2nd and 3 from the 35. Here come the Cowboys. They do go to the wide receiver reverse.
That's Wade.
There is running room to the 25 to the 24-yard line. Cimarron Wade, a 5'10", 175-pound sophomore. They like to use him like the Cowboys use Sams.
Exactly how they like to use B.J. Sams on the Cowboy side of the football. And that time, Keith Smith having to come around and use his speed to counter Wade's speed and make the tackle.
So the Lumberjacks have a first down at the Cowboys' 24-yard line. Northern Arizona is responding following the McNeese field goal. 6:55 to play, second quarter. Marietta back, looking. Throws to the outside. Everybody was covered, and he threw that one away.
Lynn, I don't know if you agree with me on this. I mean, we're still now, we have about 6:45 left in the half, but it seems to be as if NAU and McNeese have actually switched playbooks. You've seen a lot of passing from McNeese, and then a little bit more running from NAU. I'm kind of surprised to see this as it transpires.
Well, one thing I will say with certainty, this 16 seed is not at all bothered by playing the #1 seed.
Big Sky Conference champion comes in here, and they're going to give the Southern Conference a run.
Second down. Robinson has speed, tiptoes the sideline. He stepped out at about the 14. That's going to be very close to a first down.
Nice.
Now, Montana State, and Northern Arizona each tied for the Big Sky lead with a 5-2 record.
It's a nice run there by Robinson. The snap to Marietta was high, and yet he was able to maintain his balance and then meet Robinson in full stride, who did the rest.
6:40 to go, second quarter. Marshall splits out at the top of your screen. There's a slot man over there. Robinson diving ahead. That's good enough for on the first down. He slithers to about the 11. They run it just enough to make you wary and keep the pressure off Marietta. And the Cowboys have yet to soil Marietta's jersey. They've come close a couple of times, but he has not been hit very often.
And like I said, you know, for as much as they pass, to give up as few sacks as they have, 22 all season, to lead the conference is really remarkable.
Yes, it is. And that is a pass-happy conference. Robinson, looking for a crack, goes down at the 7-yard line.
I'm really impressed, though, with the composure of Marietta at quarterback. It reminds me, the Cowboys have played against some great quarterbacks, even dating back to last year. John Edwards from Montana, Travis Lulay from Montana State, and then Brett Gordon, who was a Walter Payton Award candidate from Villanova. Marietta's right up there with all of them.
3rd and 4. Marietta throwing, caught for a touchdown. On the inside route, it is Clarence Moore. He was well covered, but Clarence Moore used his body to shield the defender, and that ball was thrown right into his belly.
Clarence Moore now 8 consecutive games with a touchdown catch. And as we said, we were going to be calling his name because he just finds a way to get open, and that time Marietta found him in the end zone.
And did you see the footwork by Marietta? He had to do a little shuffle step to get upright enough to throw the ball, and flipped it right into the midsection of the big receiver. 3 touchdown passes by the freshman to 3 different receivers. The extra point is good. And this Northern Arizona ball club has come into Lake Charles, Louisiana, and is shocking McNeese 21-3 with 5:28 to go, 2nd quarter. But don't you dare step aside. This is, they got no answer.
This is amazing.
Unless they pressure him, they're dead, because, I mean, he's too good. He's too good. You know, unless they can force him to get out of his rhythm. Yeah, but you see how he was, you know, went down, got up, made the throw. He's pretty cool.
The biggest problem for the Cowboys, they've missed those early tackles when they were able to pressure, because now instead of thinking about those hits that he would have taken, he's moving ahead.
They've got to be able to get some kind of running game going for the Cowboys.
Now not getting a touchdown on the other end really hurts.
Who's anchoring the halftime show?
Marty Briggs and Ryan Peterson.
Okay, Marty Briggs.
Yeah, Marty. Yeah.
It's 21-3. 3 touchdown passes by Marietta have powered Northern Arizona to an 18-point lead. Marty Briggs from KPLC will be talking to Southland Conference Commissioner Tom Burnett at halftime, among a lot of other good things, so we hope you'll stay tuned right here on KPLC. It's time for the Cowboys to get down to business.
Cowboys have to get something going.
Sams from the goal line. Out to the 21. This Northern Arizona team flew in yesterday, enjoyed the day after Thanksgiving here in Lake Charles. Some of them tasted some food they not only had never had before, they couldn't pronounce it and they couldn't spell it, but they liked it.
That's right. They came through. They came right to Cowboy Stadium, went through a brief walkthrough, threw some passes, and then went back to work to rest up for tonight's game, and they look great so far.
Ryan Corcoran throws out to Sams on 1st down. He finds some running room. Ball nearly stripped, but Sams holding on. And that's a good play on 1st down with Jeremy Thornburg on the tackle, the strong safety.
Thornburg actually came back after missing all of last season with a shoulder injury and has come back to lead the team in tackles as if he had never been gone.
85 stops on the year for Thornburg, a 6-foot senior. And Vic King has had just nowhere to go. They have put a cork in Vic King's bottle for the most part.
And then with 4:42 and counting remaining in the first half, the Cowboys have got to manufacture some kind of offense. They're so good at making adjustments in the locker room at halftime, and they'll still have an entire half of play, but they want to be down 21-10 as opposed to 21-3, because this lead just keeps getting bigger and bigger, and Marietta's not going away.
Vic King has 10 rushes for 26 yards. He'll try to get some here. And he may have enough for the first down. He does. So not a whole lot of running room, but Vic King made the most of it, and that moves the chains. The Cowboys desperately need to get some sort of offensive rhythm.
Move the chains, stop the clock, and go back to work.
Still plenty of time to work here in the second quarter. 4:16 remaining, and the Cowboys have all 3 of their timeouts.
Scott Pendarvis is back in the game.
He will throw. He wings it. It is tipped. It is bobbled. And it is intercepted, I believe. Yes, it will be an interception on the second or third deflection. My goodness.
And that is huge.
My goodness.
That is huge. Jason Jacobs comes away with the football. And now the Cowboys go back to their sideline and the defense comes back.
That is the 4th interception of the year for Jacobs.
Interesting stat for you. The Lumberjacks came into this game with something like 8 interceptions in their last 2 games. And they've already got 2 tonight.
That's right. Marietta to the end zone for the big wide receiver. Broken up at the 2. Clarence Moore was perfectly defended right at the goal line by Keith Smith, and that's been a heck of a matchup in the first half.
That's why they don't challenge Keith Smith. And what a play defensively by Smith, who, if it gives up another score, 28-3 NAU with 4 minutes left, and we're just talking about the Cowboys needing to get something going. How about a defensive stop or a turnover, something? Cowboys led the Southland Conference this season in turnover margin. You know, if your offense isn't going to do it, you got to manufacture it some other way. How about on defense?
7 first quarter points, 14 in the second period. Here's pressure. Here's the bubble screen. Jackson runs for nearly 10. Let's see where they spot it. Ron Thiem Jackson, a 6'2", 190-pound junior, makes only his 4th reception of the year, but it's good enough for a first down.
Another first down for the Lumberjacks, moving the chains. Marietta just continues to look unstoppable. They got a little pressure that time, but when you get pressure on the quarterback, guys are going to fall back in coverage, and that time Jackson had enough for the first down.
Marietta in the first half has been as cool as the center seed of a cucumber. Flags and whistles stop this play. That's generally against the offensive team, and if so, the Cowboys will be happy to accept a 5-yard penalty.
Prior to the snap, false start, 5-yard penalty on the offense. Repeat first down.
Nash has 5 catches, 1 for a score.
In his first game back, no less.
Moore has a pair and a touchdown. Green with a catch for a touchdown. They have already thrown to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 receivers successfully in the first half.
It's amazing.
1st and 15. And we've got movement again.
Prior to the snap, false start on the offense, 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Now it's 1st and 20 from midfield. Northern Arizona with 13 first downs.
Cowboys love the 20 yards to go, but they're not too happy with that first down, I'll tell you that.
Here comes the blitz. Pressure. Loose football. It is picked up by Robinson. Robinson is belted hard at the 44-yard line, a loss of more yardage. But again, a fortunate bounce for Northern Arizona.
This time the Cowboys brought the blitz, and Rod Royal almost took the handoff cleanly from Marietta, who was trying to just hand the ball off to Robinson. Robinson fortunate to pick up the ball. This is 2 bullets that NAU has dodged. Remember that loose ball that was fumbling around and Ryan Garrison couldn't get it? This time Rod Royal couldn't get his mitts on it, and NAU's got the ball, again avoiding 2 turnovers.
Garrison was also in on that play, so the 2 linebackers, the decorated ones, almost were able to cause the turnover, but Northern Arizona gets it back. The line to make is the McNeese 30, so it is 2nd down and 26. Less than 3 minutes remain in the 2nd quarter. Marietta bobbles it, picks it up, looking, sidesteps a tackler, and heaves it deep. It is intercepted and dropped.
Keith Smith against Clarence Moore. They're like prize fighters, blow for blow, and that time Keith Smith almost came up with a huge interception. Again, the Cowboys need something. They need a big play, and this would have been it. This would have been it.
That's a ball Keith Smith knows he should have caught.
It's a ball Keith Smith normally catches.
He had tremendous inside position on the bigger receiver. The ball was thrown to the inside, and Keith Smith made a perfect break on it, had it right in his mitts, shoulder high, and then it fell out.
3rd and super long now for the Lumberjacks.
Marietta is hit, and he goes down for the first time.
And guess who? Tim Kidebrew and Lawrence Darby combine on the sack. It's about time the Cowboys defense got to Marietta. They've been missing him, and he's been dodging him all evening. But finally, the Cowboys stick him in the backfield, and they'll get the ball back with 2:34 left in the half.
That'll be a half sack apiece. Darby's first of the year. Kidebrew now with 2.5 on the season.
We have timeout. We have timeout, McNeese State.
2 minutes and
40 seconds on the clock.
They are going to
2:40.
They're going to reset the clock, add 6 seconds. It'll bring 2 minutes and 40 seconds remaining in the 2nd quarter. And Dan, right now the Cowboys with back by 18. Even if they don't get in the end zone, and of course that's exactly what they need to do, but they've got to sort of get some sort of continuity offensively. I mean, it's been a step forward and 2 back most of the night for McNeese.
It really has been, Lynn. And you talk about the Cowboys in the playoffs last season. They had to come from behind, and we talked about it in the open, not wanting to come from behind. The Cowboys need a hero. Every game has a hero. We're still waiting for that hero in the blue and gold to show up.
By the way, and nobody's thinking about postseason honors, but congratulations to the McNeese players in postseason all-star games. Keith Smith going to the Senior Bowl, Roderick Royal to the East-West game, Smith to the Blue-Gray game, Smith to the Hula Bowl, Smith, Luke Watton, and Roderick Royal to the Villages Gridiron Classic. And we'll tell you about a whole lot of Cowboys in the inaugural 1AA Football Network All-Star Classic coming up next month.
The one name on all those lists, Keith Smith.
Mark Gould gets it out of there, barely.
Tipped by Stephen Barrett, and this time Sam bobbles it and gives it right back.
B.J. Sams called for the fair catch. He lunged for it, should not have touched it. And this is a misplay on a guy who just normally doesn't make these mistakes. A very bad play by Sams.
This is huge. Just a lack of concentration from B.J. Sams. He's usually so good about catching that ball. And now it's almost as if the Lumberjacks have gotten a first down. They're back on the Cowboys' 35-yard line after the mistake.
B.J. Sams initially misjudged the ball. He called for the fair catch. Looked like he was trying to get out of the way, and then it kind of hopped up, and he touched it, and then it was all over.
It was tipped. Stephen Barrett tipped it when it was punted by Gould, but Sams couldn't make the adjustment midair.
1st and 10 from the 35. Marietta with time heaves it to the end zone into double coverage. Broken up, intended for Clarence Moore. Smith was in great position, and he also had some help that time.
That was Stephen Barrett, the man who tipped that punt, or so he said. We watched him on that last play, and this time Barrett in the right place at the right time, helping his buddy Keith Smith out. And Smith is always going to take the help against a guy like Clarence Moore.
Keith Smith, Luke Lawton, Roderick Royal, Ryan Garrison, Dwight Hudler, B.J. Sams, Rod Gully, and Vic King will participate in that 1AA Football Network All-Star Classic in Florida next month.
Here's Marietta to Robinson, who breaks through for about 3 on second down.
Northern Arizona has 2 timeouts with which to work, and 2 minutes and 12 seconds with the clock rolling in the second quarter.
Cowboys figure to get the ball back at least once more if they can stop here. But like you said, it's just been almost that Sam's play just kind of sums up the first half for the Cowboys. Just a little bit off.
3rd down and 8. Cowboys show blitz. And there is movement as the offensive line, particularly left guard Matt Carey at 6'3", 290, got a little bit itchy in the face of the blitz.
What are you going to do? You got a guy like Ryan Garrison, 6'1".
Right on the snap. Ball start. 5-yard penalty on the offense. Repeat 3rd down.
Garrison, 6'1", 233 pounds, like a bull getting ready to come out of the chute. I mean, what are you going to do? And if you're in that low crouch like Murrieta's in, you got to find some way to get out of there without getting smacked.
Murrieta almost looks like a catcher, doesn't he, when he gets down in that crouch?
Similar very much so to Travis Lulay from Montana State last year. The guys like to get real low under center, and only their helmet sticks up over the top.
Here's the throwback screen, grabbed by Robinson, and the Cowboys grab him.
Buck Harris on the stop that time.
It may be time for a McNeese timeout. Let's see if the Cowboys will try to stop the clock. It is 4th down with 1:28 and the clock still moving. And they don't have to kick this thing till about less than a minute to play. I'm surprised the Cowboys have not stopped the clock.
Yeah, the officials are just saying play on, play on. The Cowboys defense looking around like we're going to get some help here.
They don't have to snap it till about 56 seconds if they want to take it all the way down, as we come to about 65 seconds right now.
I'm surprised, Lynn.
I'm surprised, too. They've got 5 seconds to snap it. There's the snap. And it's a high, wobbly kick. Not a good one, but it's going to work out well. Look at this.
Wow.
Inside the 5 again. This will be the 3rd time the Cowboys have started inside their 5-yard line in the first half.
And guess who puts that ball down deep in McNeese territory? It's Matt Gould, and again, Eric Iverson, the defensive back for the Lumberjacks, who just gets a mid on it. He's real aggressive, and this just continues to pay off for NAU, who continues to pin McNeese deep in its own territory.
So 48 seconds remain in the second quarter. McNeese has 2 timeouts. Let's see what they do. Will they just burn a couple of plays and get into the locker room and regroup, or will they try to get on the scoreboard?
There's Lawton.
I think that answers the question.
Going into the locker room, down 21-3. Kind of surprising.
That's Lawton's second carry. Cowboys will have to snap it one more time. There's 2 seconds difference between the play clock and the scoreboard.
You know, Lynn, it's not usually this quiet at Cowboy Stadium.
No, it's not. No, it's not. King looking for yardage. Tackle from behind at about the 25. That stops the clock with 5 seconds remaining. And now will McNeese take a heave for the end zone?
Kind of makes you wonder if they'd taken those timeouts before NAU even had to punt, they'd have a few seconds to work with. Now they've got 5.
Well, they're not going to come to the line of
scrimmage. They're not even going to have that.
Think about it with the first possession.
As we said, you know, both of us, Lynn, were talking at the end of the first half. We were surprised that the Cowboys elected to go into the locker room with about a minute and change left to go and 2 timeouts on the scoreboard. But now, here's an opportunity for the Cowboys to come out, get some momentum going, and to make those first half adjustments that hopefully they talked about in the locker room.
And so from the bunch formation, the kick is headed to Sam's at the 2. BJ weaving to the 25. And so the Cowboys, who had the ball 3 times to start drives inside their own 5-yard line in the first half, at least have decent field position to start the third quarter.
Just looking at the halftime stats, one thing that jumps out at me is obviously the punting. 5 punts for NAU's Mark Gould, averaging 38.6, along of 51, and 4 of those inside the 20. McNeese has been stuck in their own backfield all night.
Scott Pendarvis opens the third quarter at quarterback. He'll throw. He's looking. He wings it to the outside. It's overthrown high and wide of Sams, who had cut to the near sideline at the 40-yard line. And Pendarvis really has not settled in. He has not been able to get a lot of accuracy on the football tonight.
Pendarvis, through the first half of play, 3 for 9 for 26 yards, his long of 16 to B.J. Sams. But like you said, Lynn, it's just been a real struggle for Scott Pendarvis, and it's really time to wake up.
He looks pretty comfortable, but there have been a lot of balls that have sailed over the receivers' heads.
A lot of sailing going on. Here's a little reverse now.
Sam's running left, trying to get a block. Pendarvis is out there, but it results in no gain. Now, Sams has been a frequent carrier of the ball in the season. He had an attempt in the first half and 36 rushes coming into the ball game, so he's a wideout who will get the ball a lot on reverses and speed handoffs.
That's those multi-purpose yards you were talking about. He actually has 2 touchdowns rushing, and was actually the second leading rusher on the team with 300.
Third down and 10. Third downs were not kind to the Cowboys in the first half. Pendarvis whips it over the middle. It's incomplete. It looked like it sailed right by Marcus Turner. I'm not sure that Turner thought maybe the ball was intended for somebody else.
I wonder if there was just a player in Turner's way, though, because it's like by the time the ball got to Turner, he was completely shocked. Let's take a look at the replay now. Pendarvis right over the middle of the field. See, and it looked like the 2 NAU defenders crossing may have crossed Marcus Turner up.
That was a well-thrown ball by Pendarvis, one of his best throws of the night. High snap. Here comes the Lumberjacks, and the kick is out of there. It takes a McNeese roll and will curl back at about the 40 where the Cowboys kill it. So all things considered, it turned out pretty well. A kick of 25, 35 yards with no return.
And fortunate when you consider that Cook actually had to rush that kick off because of the bad snap.
So the Cowboys, who were not particularly physical in the first half, put their defense on the field. It was burned for 3 first-half touchdowns by the talented young quarterback, Jason Murrieta. Murrieta picks the ball up and hands it off, and Robinson, after the mix-up, is dropped in the backfield. The Cowboys need a lot more of that and are capable of doing it.
Certainly are. They've got a great defense. Almost everyone is back from the defense a year ago, with the exception of B.J. McNutt and Hadley Prince, but they just really haven't been able to come up with an answer for the question that is Jason Murrieta.
Kennebrew with the stop there after the muffed snap, second down and long. Northern Arizona was 3 out of 8 on third down conversions in the first half. Murrieta beats the play clock, throws it outside. He's got the wide out for a short gain to the 39, maybe the 40-yard line. It's Tom Wynn. Wynn, a 6'4", 226-pounder, and they like to use him.
They like to use Wynn. They like to use Hamlin, both of their tight ends, who they've both thrown to in the first half. As you mentioned, I thought this was interesting. They've thrown now to like 8 different guys, 8 different receivers. That's really spreading the ball around.
This crowd gets energized.
This is a big down, Lynn.
A very big down in this game. 3rd and 10. No pressure, a sliding catch is made, short of midfield. A flag is down. If the play stands, it will be 4th and about a yard or 2 as Robinson, coming out of the backfield, made the sliding catch, but there was a penalty marker down about 10 yards further downfield from where this catch was made.
You're not going to see it on this replay as the ball is now down at the 49.
We have holding on the defense, 10-yard penalty, previous spot, automatic first down.
So instead of 4th and about 2, the defensive holding call gives Northern Arizona new life.
At last glance, that would have been Chris White, who was trailing down the near side of the field behind Johnny Marshall. And instead of it being 4th and short, and the Cowboys likely getting the ball back, it's back to work.
Northern Arizona operates from its own 49. With its 14th first down of the game, it has a 2-to-1 advantage in that category. Here comes the blitz. Robinson picking his way, turns upfield for a couple into Cowboy territory. At the 49-yard line, Kennebrew was among 2 or 3 Cowboys in on the stop. He had some help, especially from Chris White, the cornerback.
That time, a nice play from the Cowboys defense to respond and only hold Robinson to that 1 yard. You know, Lynn, this Cowboys team, I know it's early to be talking about this, but this team is really built to win now. There are 20 seniors on this team, 12 of whom are starters. At some point, time is going to run out.
Here comes the blitz. The pass is caught for good yardage to the 28-yard line. That one hauled in by Chris Nash. The Cowboys misfired by inches in getting to the quarterback, and then almost a tipped ball or an interception, but the defender right there, Weathersby, just couldn't quite get to it.
And Weathersby's filling in for the injured Ron Gully. You wonder if Gully would have made a play like that on the ball, but Weathersby, just as you said, inches short of making that play happen. Instead, because he goes down, there's no second line of defense, and Nash gets a big gain and a first down.
This Murrieta has been very, very poised, and when he does cut loose, he has been very, very accurate. 1st and 10 at the 28. It is Ryan Williams picking his way for yardage. That's only his 2nd or 3rd carry of the game as he works his way to the 26-yard line.
Lynn, as Murrieta continues to work in this game, he is a Walter Payton Award watch candidate, which means that at the end of the season, he could be the winner of the best offensive player in 1AA. I think that if he were to get a win tonight over McNeese, you think his standing would go up a bit in that poll.
That's pretty good for a guy less than a year removed from playing high school football.
He's 19.
To the end zone for the big receiver. It is incomplete, perfectly defended by Keith Smith on the 6'5" Clarence Moore.
That is great coverage by Keith Smith. This time, Smith had the inside, and he was looking back all the way. Moore would have had to catch it over the top of Smith. And Smith's not going to let that happen. As you see, Moore's arms just trying to hug Smith to keep him from making the interception.
And Smith with beautiful timing to go up and prevent that ball from getting into the taller man's hands.
2nd and 7 now.
Clarence Moore had 54 catches for 1,054 yards before the game. Marshall 71 catches for 1,026 yards. 3rd down and 7 and a big down, and Northern Arizona did not like what it saw coming to the line of scrimmage, and we'll take a timeout. So we'll step aside as well. 11:44 remains in the 3rd quarter. Northern Arizona 21, McNeese 3. Northern Arizona leads by 18, 3rd down and 7. The last 3rd and long opportunity for the Cowboys defensively resulted in a holding call, which kept the drive alive. Now another 3rd down chance to stop Northern Arizona.
And look at the fans get up. They know this is big.
4 down linemen. Let's see how many rush. McNeese sends 7, inside pitch, and there's running room for Robinson. Robinson is cut down as he crosses the 20, near the 19, perhaps the 18. That's very close to a first down, and an excellent play call against the blitz.
At least from the spot, it looks like he's going to be about 6 inches short. But if you look at that play, Robinson actually had running room. Had it not been for Jarrell Zeno getting out to the outside, he would have had the first down easily. And now they're going to say 4th and 1, and the offense is still on the field for NAU. can you say going for the jugular?
In fourth down opportunities this year, Northern Arizona
He's
is
got
8
it.
for 17,
He's
and now
got
it is 9 for 18. Well, when you're up by 18, you've got the luxury of taking some gambles.
And that was one of those gambles where, look, they got nothing to lose. Send Robinson up over the top. You need less than a yard. And if you get it, you've got 4 first downs in the red zone where they've had all kinds of success.
From the 17-yard line, Robinson running right, spins to the 14. He is a tough little customer. 5'10", 187 pounds. He'll be back next year.
And he's been very good, the transfer from Utah State. Stepping right in and getting a majority of the carries, as we said. 5 100-yard rushing games this season, I should say. And he's had 20 or more carries in each of his last 5.
And when you look at this Northern Arizona team and consider the fact that it throws so much, it still wins the time of possession 34-26 on average.
It's amazing. Look at that crouch by Marietta.
He's hit, down he goes. A big rush coming up the middle, and for the second time tonight, Marietta is sacked. It's the linebacker Roderick Royal, who is the #1 tackler on this team, and that was his 6th sack of the year.
And that is a big play for the Cowboys because it just pushes the Lumberjacks a little bit farther out of field goal range. Royal, one of 16 players on the Buck Buchanan watch list given to the top 1AA defensive player in the nation. So the offensive players have the Walter Payton Award. The defensive players have the Buck Buchanan Award.
Royal, a 6'1", 244-pound senior from Baton Rouge. 3rd down. Northern Arizona has converted 2 prior 3rd downs on this drive. Pressure again, inside screen. It is the big wide receiver Moore, but he is sliced down before he can get much yardage, perhaps to the 19 or the 18. And now the field goal unit will come to the grass with Paul Ernster, who is 17 of 28 this year with a long of 52. So he is a very capable kicker.
And now, take a look at this. Marietta coming off the field, maybe a little hobbled, trying to figure out what the team is going to do, but clearly Ernster's going to be kicking a field goal, and Marietta kind of cursing himself there, thinking he could have done a little bit more.
This will be a 36-yard attempt from just inside the near hash mark. Not much of an angle. Ernster's kick is away, and it is no good. It just missed the upright, sliding by wide.
Wide to the right. And this is huge because now, remember that 4th down play the Cowboys gave up? NAU gets the yard. Now the Cowboys are going back the other way. Their first real defensive stop of the game.
8 minutes and 26 seconds remain in the 3rd quarter. That play didn't work.
I don't know what that was. It looked like Pendarvis even faked Big King out. King ran right through it like, you going to give me the ball? And
well, he almost dropped it on the handoff exchange, and then really a pretty smart play by the quarterback because that ball was coming out, and he drew it back just to prevent the fumble.
And the Cowboys really can't afford to turn the ball over that deep in their own territory the way they've been moving it offensively.
Fortunately, not a loss on the play. 2nd and 10. That could have been disastrous. There's pressure. And down he goes. Back at the 11-yard line. The initial charge by Ian Gunderman, the linebacker, took Pendarvis out of his rhythm. There is Gunderman missing, but he had some help in a hurry.
Pendarvis just never had a chance. Once he shook off that first tackler, Gunderman, it was just a matter of time before the rest of Gunderman's teammates caught up to the action.
Doug Harding gets credit for the sack. He's got 6.5 now on the year. And this Northern Arizona defensive line has not been influenced by play action. 3rd and a whole lot of yardage. Pendarvis whips it over the middle. It's high, but the catch is made by the tight end Gore, and he's got the first down. Matt Gore with a nice grab and then a good job of running after the catch.
The difference that time for Gore was legs. Matt Gore is a guy who set a school record for tight ends, lifting 565 pounds with his legs. Well, guess what got him that first down? His legs, and that's what the Cowboys needed.
So McNeese converts for the 4th time on 3rd down, 4 of 10. Sam's in motion. Again, nobody's influenced by the play action, and Pendarvis goes down. When Sam's goes in motion, it's supposed to hold people at the line of scrimmage. The Lumberjacks have not been influenced.
Cowboys have a couple of options when they run that little reverse play where Sam's goes in motion. Either they can hand the ball to Sam's and he can run end around, or he can become a receiver. Well, like you said, if they're not holding him on the line of scrimmage and they continue their bull rush, that play's going nowhere. Once Scott Pendarvis gets wrapped up, he's going down.
That's Doug Harding for another tackle for loss. He had the sack a couple of plays ago.
2nd and 17, Lynn.
And a loss there. Pendarvis will throw. 4-man rush. Screen, bobbled. Lawton loses more yardage. And there were too many defenders over there. I think Luke might have even thought about letting that ball hit the ground as an incomplete pass.
That's exactly what I was just thinking. If you're that far deep in your own territory and you're going to lose yards because of the way the ball is thrown, drop, let it go incomplete. Now the Cowboys have just hurt themselves. It's now 3rd. And with the loss,
3rd and 23. They've got to get to their own. They need to get to their own 43-yard line. There aren't a whole lot of third.
Themselves in the foot.
3-man rush. Pendarvis fires it deep. Incomplete off the hands of Huey Gardner. He had run a nice skinny post between the hash marks. That was a well-delivered ball, but just out of the reach of Gardner.
And that would have been a huge 3rd down conversion. The Cowboys, I thought, caught a break in that last 3rd down conversion and then couldn't get out of their own territory this time. Stuck deep again, and Jason Cook here to punt again.
These teams have played evenly in the 3rd quarter, but time is moving against McNeese now with 5:22 left in the 3rd period.
It's amazing. You just look up and the time is gone.
Johnny Marshall waits for the kick, and it's a good one. Marshall brings it back from his own 38. He's got some running room to the Cowboy 40-yard line. So once again, the Lumberjacks have very advantageous position to start a drive. We will step aside with just over 5 minutes remaining in the 3rd quarter. Northern Arizona, the number 16 seed, is leading the top-ranked Cowboys 21-3. Welcome back to 7 at your service, KPLC's coverage of McNeese football. Along with Dan Boubany, I'm Lynn Rollins, and we are delighted to be in your living rooms on this final Saturday in November. Will it be the final Saturday for the Cowboys? They're going to have to hustle to get back into this game. The wide receiver reverse to Johnny Marshall gets nothing, as McNeese did a fine job of getting 4 or 5 blue uniforms out in front of that play.
Very nice tackle that time by the Cowboys defense. A host of guys around there, including Jarrell Zeno. And that's a good stop for the Cowboys on that little reverse. They've been fooled by that before, so to get that tackle to make that stop, nice way of selling the play action there by Murrieta. And then Zeno on the initial pursuit before he gets some help from Keith Smith there.
The only blemish on McNeese's record this year, an early season setback at Kansas State. 2nd down and 11. Here comes the blitz. Murrieta throws, almost intercepted. It's the pressure by the Cowboys now, which has taken Murrieta a little bit out of his comfort zone. It was Stephen Barrett who almost made the interception.
Stephen Barrett, that would have been a huge play, Lynn. As we were talking about in the break, you just look up at the scoreboard. Suddenly, as you say, a third of the second half is gone with no progress. Cowboys down 18 just as they were going into the locker room. It's time to make something happen. Where's the sense of urgency? I think the defense is playing with it now. The offense for McNeese has to help them out.
3rd and 11. Northern Arizona, 3 out of 10 in 3rd down conversions. Murrieta pressured, fires it deep, It's caught inside the 15, and the receiver, Wade, to the 5, loses the football. But they're going to say it will be a first and goal. And I really can't carp with that rendering.
I need to see the replay, Lynn, because their backs were to us there on the field. And
look at this catch by Wade.
What a catch, and then the presence. Oh, that ball is
a fumble.
out.
Yes,
that ball is out.
I stand corrected. That
Wow.
ball was a fumble.
Wow.
Clearly a fumble.
A strip by Stephen Barrett, who almost made the interception the very play before.
But again, the Cowboys on 3rd and 11, letting a receiver get downfield. That pass actually was caught at about the 15, and a heck of a grab by Wade.
Wow.
But that was clearly a fumble. Instead, it goes to Northern Arizona at the 4. Murrieta on the bootleg. Chopped down at the 6-yard line. A fine open field tackle. And that's a big, big play. That ball down, going to be placed at the 6 or the 7. Not sure who made that stop. We'll try to get another look at it, perhaps.
Looked like Stephen Barrett initially.
I think so.
Who was out on the end around there, and we're calling Stephen Barrett's name like he's the only one out there.
2nd down and goal from the 6. We'll take another look at that defensive play in a moment. Murrieta to the end zone. Caught for a touchdown. Coming out of the backfield, it was Johnny Marshall, actually lined up as a slot receiver. My goodness.
They call him Johnny on the spot, and that time that ball was delivered to the perfect spot, and he made the catch.
How did that ball get through a couple of McNeese defenders who appeared to be clogging the passing lane?
Looked like good coverage, and then they looked up to the Cowboy defenders. The ball was already through. Marshall in for 6.
So Northern Arizona adds to its lead. And Paul Ernster, looking for the 28th point, knocks it true. With 3:06 to go in the 3rd quarter, Northern Arizona has added a touchdown to its 18-point halftime lead. And the Cowboys find themselves trailing the 16th seed, 28-3.
Wow. Unreal.
This isn't even a game.
No, they've been completely outplayed. Completely outplayed.
People don't hang around here, do they?
He's shaking his head like he does. Yeah, nodding. Wow.
He's nodding yes. Did y'all sell this out?
I don't believe in terms of the stadium.
No, the commercial.
Oh yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
So I shouldn't feel guilty asking for my paycheck.
No.
I'm just kidding. No, but that's good.
You get that paycheck.
Oh, I will. Y'all are very good. I was just kidding you. Yeah. I'm glad they were able to sell it out because it costs so much to do a game, and so many last-minute things to do Thanksgiving week.
I thought this year, even more so than last year, they really knew what they'd been here. Like they'd been here before.
Yeah.
We bid, and then we got it, and we were already working on it the week before.
Here we go. (28-3), Northern Arizona behind the right arm of Jason Murrieta. The freshman quarterback has thrown 4 touchdown passes to 4 receivers. Nash, Moore, Marshall, and Green all have caught touchdown throws.
It's really amazing, Lynn, to see what this freshman has done against a very seasoned McNeese team. We said a team that's been to the playoffs. This is their 11th appearance. This is NAU's 3rd appearance. Yet the Lumberjacks look to be the more veteran of the 2 teams in this game.
Well, they have played with more of a sense of vengeance, that's for sure. Sams from the 4. BJ looking for running room. Darts outside. And a defender has him by the collar as Sams brings it to the 35. And this is the best position following a kickoff that McNeese has enjoyed tonight.
Lynn, we've talked about it before, and I want to bring it up again for those of you who haven't maybe followed this team as closely. There were 17 returning starters for this McNeese Cowboys team coming into this season. 12 of them are seniors. This team is built to win now. They came up just short last year. This is their best opportunity, at least for a while, to get back to the big dance. And it's time to start showing up and playing.
Nick King looking for a block. Gets one. 45, midfield, 45, 44, 43. His longest run of the game, the longest run of the game for the Cowboys.
That will help. That will help the cause, and that's
it.
a nice block by Lawton. You saw it too. It was a great block by Lawton, and then King able to cut back in and get a few extra yards. The chains have moved, and that is something we haven't said very often.
Lawton got a piece of two defenders, and Sams threw a downfield block as well. King will try it again, powering forward across the 40 to the 39-yard line. A nice run on first down.
We told you King was going to find a way to get some yards in the second half by softening the underbelly of that NAU defense in the first half. But now it's almost in vain, Lynn, because there's 2 minutes and 20 seconds left in the third quarter. It's time to get some points. You're down by 25.
King has 75 yards rushing on 14 tries, and down goes Scott Pendarvis. This Northern Arizona defense came in with 35 sacks, and it's had 3 tonight.
3 tonight, and a very good job again by the defense. That time, Derek Stotts on the stop, the linebacker out of San Bernardino, California. And I said before, once Pendarvis gets wrapped up, he's not likely to throw the ball out of bounds. He's just not that kind of a quarterback.
Pendarvis on 3rd and long. Finds King. Makes a move. Puts a hand down and is tackled at the 40. He's about 6 yards short of a first down. And I'm not so sure the Cowboys don't have to go for it here.
I think you do, Lynn, because, again, you're down 25. You have 1 minute and 20 seconds left in the third quarter. Time is ticking away, literally.
We come to the 72nd mark. Third period.
I know you need 7 yards. It is 4th and long, but you've got to get something happening. And if this turns the tide, well, then you look like a genius for doing it.
And if it doesn't, it's not really that big of a gamble considering the score. Here comes the blitz from the outside. Pendarvis looking, throwing. He threw it short into the hands of Gunderman, who dropped it, but it doesn't matter. And that ball was just underthrown, short-armed. He had a receiver open.
I don't know if you can see this on the replay, but deep down the left side, I think it was Marcus Turner waving his arms. But, you know, Marcus Turner may not be the easiest target. He's 5'8". So I don't know if Pendarvis could see him. Instead, he elected to go to B.J. Sams and perhaps missed an opportunity for the Cowboys to turn it over on downs.
Pendarvis did a nice job of escaping the blitz, but then he could not get the ball to Sams. 1st and 10. Marietta hands it off to Roger Robinson. He breaks a tackle and moves into McNeese territory at the 45-yard line. He's not big, but he is strong.
And he's done a great job tonight. As you said, really mixing up. I like NAU's game plan in this game. They've really mixed the run and the pass well, even though everybody knew that they would be passing more. The Cowboys haven't been able to take away one of those dimensions. And by playing back for the pass, the Lumberjacks have been able to take advantage of the ground attack.
Robinson with 16 carries for 59 yards. Not eye-popping numbers, but just enough to keep the defense honest.
That's exactly right, and if you've done that, then you've done your job.
Marietta whips it to an open receiver, caught by Clarence Moore. He's got a first down. This passing game is beautiful to watch if you're a Northern Arizona fan. It's torture if you're pulling for the Cowboys.
Big sky, big fly. The air is thin in Flagstaff at nearly 7,000 feet. And that ball just whistles through every bit of that air.
1st and 10 for Northern Arizona. Stunning the Cowboys with less than half a minute to play in the third quarter. Robinson, that's a tough yard or two.
But that's what they want to do because the clock continues to run, and now this will likely take us to the end of the third quarter. And it will.
Northern Arizona, of course, will let this clock move on down. And we've got, in a second-round playoff game last year against Montana in the fourth quarter to win it, they're going to have to do a little better than that in the fourth period here. To the air and out of the reach of everybody. Well, this Northern Arizona team certainly is not content to sit on the lead, is it, Dan?
Well, I think it knows that this McNeese offense, if it ever wakes up, is quite dangerous. Although time is on the Lumberjack side, they, still certainly would love a, 26, 25, they're up 25 now. They'd be up 32. I mean, I'd love that lead, sure.
The wind has really started gusting here, and Murrieta will be throwing into the wind here in the fourth quarter. Here comes the blitz. He throws outside. It is caught by Marshall. Marshall goes down near the 30. There is a penalty marker down in the pocket, and that... Welcome back, everyone. 12 and a half minutes and some change remain in this football game. The Lumberjacks have come a long way east and lead it 28-3. Murrieta hands off to Ryan Williams. Ryan Williams struggles for yardage to about the 47-yard line.
I think the Cowboys are going to have to call Johnny's wreckage when this thing is all over with, Lynn. 28-3 with 12 and a half to go.
I don't think it's an overstatement to say that this big crowd has been stunned.
Stunned is a good word. I'm shocked.
2nd and 5, 12:07 to go. Northern Arizona now not in any particular hurry. And they will throw. And successfully, it's good for a first down. Murrieta has a great command of the field. He found Johnny Marshall. Yes, they have terrific receivers. Yes, Murrieta is a sensational freshman quarterback. But let's give a lot of credit to this offensive line. It has kept Murrieta clean for the most part.
I was in Tucson for the Thanksgiving holiday, and I spoke to one of the assistant coaches, or former assistant coaches for the Pima Community College Storm, the junior college team that's out there. They said they recruited this kid, and that Murrieta is very much for real. He's proving that tonight.
1st and 10. That's the 20th first down of the game for Northern Arizona. Robinson is hit hard, but he stays in bounds.
Lawrence Darby, helmet to helmet. Little wake-up shot from Mr. Darby. He's been known to do that from time to time. Likes to get physical. Lynn, we want to remind our viewers while we have a moment that KPLC 7 News Nightcast can be seen immediately following this game at its normal time. If the game goes over, we'll be right after the game, and then Saturday Night Live will be shown after the newscast in its entirety.
So you won't miss a thing.
Won't miss a blink.
10:50 and counting. 2nd down and 9. Murrieta has 2 seconds to get it and beats the play clock. Not much there for Roger Robinson. Well, winners this afternoon in the 1AA playoffs were Delaware and Colgate, Florida Atlantic and Wofford, Western Illinois and Western Kentucky, and the last we heard, Northern Iowa and Montana State in the third quarter. It was a 1-point game.
Good stuff there. The Cowboys, of course, had they won this game, would have been playing against the Florida Atlantic team who beat Bethune-Cookman today, 32-24.
Cowboys have 8 in the box. Send 6, and Murrieta will throw it deep. A fingertip catch is made inside the 10-yard line by Clarence Moore. That is into a stiff breeze, a perfectly thrown ball. Murrieta to the 6'5" lanky receiver Moore.
Keith Smith can't do anything on this play. This is just superior receiving by Moore, who knew that ball was coming right over his left shoulder, so all Moore has to do is turn around, put both arms up, and it's right into his breadbasket.
Clarence Moore now has 5 catches. for 73 yards.
And just like that, he's the leading receiver on the team. Chris Nash, who came off a concussion, actually missed the Sam Houston game, has 6 catches for 62 yards. Very good distribution of the football by Murrieta.
8 receivers caught balls in the first half. Murrieta will throw, looking for his 5th touchdown pass. He's hit, and down he goes.
And Murrieta lost a helmet.
And nearly lost the football, but he held on. He was hit by Lawrence Darby from behind, the sophomore from Covington. That helmet went rolling.
Look at this. And that time his lineman just looking to protect him after he lost his lid.
Northern Arizona has only rushed for 57 yards on 32 carries. The Cowboys have been held to 65 on 24 tries. So neither running game has been effective. It's been Murrieta, the freshman quarterback, who has been the difference. Robinson leans to the 5. He stayed in bounds, 8.5 and counting.
You feel the air just being sucked out of Cowboy Stadium. Everyone is just, it's shocking. The number 1 seed in the playoffs going down like this is shocking. The Cowboys haven't lost at home since 2001 when they lost the playoff opener to Maine. Right here at Cowboy Stadium. It's just shocking.
Well, losing is one thing, but the Cowboys have never really been in this game. Third and goal. Murrieta looking. Scrambling.
Look at that mobility as he almost trips.
He lobs it. Caught for a touchdown in the corner of the end zone.
Unbelievable.
My goodness.
I want to say Chris Nash again.
It was either Nash or Marshall.
Yes. Look at this. As I say, he's mobile. He trips right there. Regains his composure, and then watch Nash. He's waving his arm like, I got it, and he outleaps Lawrence Darby.
And
Marshall was there.
31 Marshall. And then Nash makes the catch, his 2nd touchdown reception. Murrieta literally ran from outside the near numbers to outside the far numbers.
And this is really quite amazing now as the NEU players go over to their own crowd section, start rallying the troops.
Another extra point is good. So Ernster has 5 extra points, and Murrieta has 5 touchdown passes. And with 7:40 remaining in the 4th quarter, Northern Arizona leads 35-3.
Woo-hoo. Woo-hoo.
Hey, Alan, can you have someone bring some matches? I need to burn some of my charts to warm up. I tried rubbing something and crystallized, baby.
Oh.
See if we can get a shot of us here coming back. How's that? We need the FaceTime. Yeah. Is that from the end zone camera?
Yeah, right there. Well, the game is pretty much in hand, so.
Why not? Yeah. Try to keep it interesting.
Yeah.
Try to find something.
With us, by looking at us, that may not be the answer.
Try to find something good to talk about. Need a hand?
I guess.
Welcome back, everyone. We are a little airish outside today, but what we have seen really has been unfortunate from a Cowboy standpoint, Dan, and totally unexpected. This Northern Arizona team has really played lights out tonight.
It's totally unexpected, and the Cowboys will say goodbye tonight to 12 seniors who start and 20 for the season. What a sad way to go out. 3 points on the scoreboard to 35 from NAU.
7:40 to play. Sam's after the lateral, looking to pick his way upfield, and he is spun down at the 31. So McNeese, with 7.5 to go, trailing by 32, puts its offense on the field.
They're going with Corcoran again under center with Vic King in the backfield, and that pass to Sams is going to be for a big gain. First down and a little bit more. He's still on his feet. And he'll be brought down, but not before picking up the first down.
Well, Corcoran is the senior quarterback. Pendarvis has a year to play.
Another year to play, that's right.
So if the Cowboys have conceded this game, it's good to have the last year guy in the game.
And I think you'll see is this.
And by conceded the game, I mean they have accepted the reality of it at this point.
Right. The reality, the formality of the game, you could say.
Corcoran looking. He's got a man open, finds him. This will be a first down. Vic King with some space is tackled at the 24.
You know, Lynn, I just want to say I think it's a pretty classy move to finish on this note. You know, you could say, well, you know, why not try to get a few more points and make the loss, take the loss and have it not look so bad. But, you know, these guys have worked so hard for the Cowboys now, and as seniors, they certainly deserve to go out on the field of play.
And they're trying to get some more points.
They are.
You can bet on that. First and 10 from the 24. Corcoran with a deep drop. Cannot escape. He is in the grasp of the linebacker Gunderman.
Gunderman came in with 2 sacks. He's had a lot of pressure tonight.
Yes, he has.
Picks up a sack there. I mean, this defense has been swarming. You know, it's interesting that Jerome Sowers told me last night, he said, you know what? Defense is going to win this game. Everyone talks about the offense, but defense is going to win this game. I said, well, you know, Coach, don't you think it's going to be a high-scoring affair? Well, it's been a high-scoring affair for NAU, but their defense has come to play tonight and it's really shut down the McNeese offense.
Corcoran looking, lets it sail deep for Sands. It's overthrown. And I think in retrospect, when you analyze the season numbers for the Cowboys this year, the biggest surprise for me, quite frankly, Dan, was that this Cowboy team allowed 22 points a game this year. And yeah, there was one lopsided score at Kansas State, but McNeese was not nearly as dominating, not nearly as suffocating, and that's the proper word for it, because this Cowboy defense the last 2 years was indeed a suffocating defense.
You know, when at least covering this team on a daily basis, when I started to think that maybe things were, getting the Cowboys maybe were in a little bit of trouble was when they gave up 37 points to Sam Houston State here at Cowboy Stadium. This is normally a vacuum for teams coming in and trying to score. You can't do it. But yet the defense kept getting knocked around and knocked around. 17 points they gave up against Stephen F. Austin, 9 against Northwestern State. But then these were close games. The Cowboys never really played anybody out of the building.
Gardner could not make the catch on that. It brings up 4th down. Well, there have been months in the 2002 and 2001 seasons which the Cowboys didn't give up 37 points in a month, much less a game. So it was not the stranglehold defense this year for McNeese. And this freshman has torched McNeese for 5 touchdowns. To the end zone! And out of the reach of Marcus Turner. Northern Arizona, for the second time in this game, will take over on downs.
I wonder if the wind didn't have a little something to do with that. Maybe it was just to be overthrown, too. Wind plays tricks with the ball when it gets up there.
Well, you don't want to leave it short. You got to give your receiver a chance to catch it. You come up short, you've got no chance. 5:54 to play.
Here's an interesting story for you, Lynn. You know, one of the trainers from McNeese told me, he said, you know what, you got to like your chances going into the 1AA playoffs because teams don't have all year to prepare for you. As opposed to the teams in the Southland Conference are always going to give you a good game because once that game is over, it goes into surgery for dissection for the next game the next year. Well, when the Cowboys draw someone like NAU, you've got a week to prepare. On both sides, granted, but a week to prepare. And, you know, I think the Cowboys usually feel like they've got the advantage because they force the other team to, you know, to come up with a scheme in a very short amount of time. Tonight, NAU, hats off to them. They had the scheme, and they've got the quarterback. This guy's going to be around for 3 more years. He's a true freshman. Real treat to watch.
Nathan Van Pusem has now entered the game at quarterback. So Jason Murrieta, after throwing 5 touchdown passes, will watch the rest of this game. Van Pusem is a senior quarterback, a 6'2", 200-pounder. He is one of the 3 seniors who did not exit the team when Murrieta won the starting job very early in the season. This guy stuck it out. He threw only 7 passes the entire year, but he'll get about 5 minutes of playing time here in the first round of the 1AA playoffs. Nathan Van Pusem.
What does that say about your senior leadership when 2 senior quarterbacks leave the program in the month of September? This team could have crumbled. Instead, they put their faith in a freshman quarterback, and he's really proven to be the leader on this team.
3rd down and 5 with 4.5 to play. Ryan Williams turns the corner. He's got a first down. That stops the clock with 4:19 remaining.
Nice run there by Williams. You know, that's just keeping the clock moving. You know, and man, this place is really cleared out now, Lynn.
There was a penalty marker down.
We have dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct on the offense. 15-yard penalty. It will still be first down.
Gateway officials working this game. Southland Conference officials were up in Montana today. Three teams from the Big Sky Conference made the playoffs, and for the first time in several years, only one team represented the Southland, these Cowboys.
Yeah, 3 teams from the Big Sky and 1 from the South, and the Southland Conference team will be bounced, although Montana lost today, that's a pretty big loss. And
double overtime on its own field.
That's right.
Montana State went down too, didn't it?
Like the last score we saw in the 3rd quarter, as you said, had them separated by a game.
Yeah, that one is still in progress, I believe. Montana State beat Montana in the final week of the season, and that put Northern Arizona into the playoffs.
Gave them some help because that provided 2 losses for 3 teams in the Big Sky Conference between Montana State, Montana, and then NAU, and NAU ends up getting their a share of their first conference title since 1978.
So we can place blame now. Blame it on Montana for losing last week.
That's an interesting point because now NAU gets into the playoffs with a share of the conference title. That's really interesting now that you bring that up.
Had Montana not lost that game, Northern Arizona would not have been here tonight.
Would not have been here, and
you see the Grizzlies, they're at the bottom of this. There's a plot.
6 degrees of separation to Montana.
Van Pusem nearly has his head ripped off at the line of scrimmage.
Jarrell Zeno taking some anger out on Pearson there.
So I'm glad those Grizzlies lost tonight on their own field.
They had it coming, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Boy, that's a terrific place. There are 3 great places I know of in 1AA football which really rise above many of the rest, if not all of the rest, in terms of fan involvement. One of them is here. One of them is here. There's no question about it. The other is at Montana. The other one is in the Dome at Northern Iowa, where Northern Iowa is playing tonight. They are rowdy places to play.
We've got game footage of a game the Cowboys played against Montana in '95 at their place in the snow, in the rain. That was during the Kerry Joseph, Kabika Pittman years, and Cowboys came up short in that game, but wow, what a game it was. And you just see these guys getting up covered in mud, and, you know, but then the scenery is what sets it apart.
Yes,
it's
beautiful.
Just gorgeous.
Ryan Williams with a nice run to the Cowboys' 40-yard line. 2:39 to play here. Northern Arizona will advance, leading 35-3 over McNeese. Northern Iowa may be the noisiest 1AA venue in the land because of the dome. Northwestern State went up there this year and was whipped handily.
Lynn, what can you say?
Well, the first thing you can do is tip your cap. Absolutely.
Yeah.
We knew exactly what was coming. That was Jeffrey Birthright on the run, by the way, a senior out of New York, Hempstead, New York. His first carry of the night. 1:50 to play, and this is a real bad feeling if you're down on that field now and you're a Cowboy, especially if your career ends tonight.
It really is. You know, like I said, Lynn, it's just a really sad way to go. But, you know, they're going out the right way by putting their seniors on the field. A lot of these guys had a real hand in getting the team to this point. You know, and you finish what you start, I guess.
Birthright again. McNeese, without question, has been one of the premier 1AA programs in the country, not just for this year, but for the better part of a decade. When you think of 1AA football, you think of Lake Charles, Louisiana, and the McNeese Cowboys. Tonight, Northern Arizona has come in and has soundly whipped the #1 seed in the 1AA playoffs.
While we're tipping our cap, why don't we tip our cap to NAU head coach Jerome Sowers, who came in here with a team that had never won a 1AA playoff game. As the Lumberjacks take a knee, they'd never won a playoff game. And here they go, and their first win in the 1AA playoffs comes against the #1 seeded McNeese Cowboys. These guys will remember this forever.
There's been nothing fluky about this win. Marietta has been everything and more that he was touted to be.
Really an amazing player, and I think that if you're on that, if you have a vote for the Walter Payton Award, you've got to take a serious look at Marietta, because this team will go as far as he takes them.
Northern Arizona starts the celebration. 15 seconds officially are yet to be ticked off. But this one, for all intents and purposes, is over. Congratulations to the Lumberjacks, the Cowboys.